as you were running the scholarship program, what were the main, I guess, challenges, opportunities that you were facing before using Scholarships 360?
I think the biggest thing was the applications were incomplete. And it was just some of the basic things like just your cell phone number or your email address. And then I think just the eligibility of the applicant. So if we're based out of Philadelphia and now Camden County, we're getting scholarships from Kansas. So it's like it was, just seeing just those two items alone, we have to automatically disqualify those applicants.
And as you were thinking about this with Scholarships 360, what were the specific goals or outcomes you were looking to achieve?
I think the biggest thing was ease for us as an organization, but also ease for the students. I think, we have the traditional methods of receiving it via mail and email, but I think really meeting the scholars where they are, and if they are finding our organization there, on your website, and they can also apply to other scholarships as well, just meeting those scholars where they are, and again, less paperwork for us.
As you were thinking about Scholarships 360, were there any like concerns that you had about the platform initially?
I
Um,
think my initial is so by day I actually build databases for clinical trials, right? So like I need to have my hands on to physically see how it's going to work for the other user. And I think what was so great about Zach, like him kind of walking me through everything of how it would look. And then I went on there myself because I'm one of these people that I have to test the database before I release it. I was able to myself say, hey, if I'm a student and I'm 17, I'm looking for scholarships, what it would look like. So I think, knowing what it would look like on both ends was like such a plus for me to really make the decision.
yeah, I guess so. Was there what kind of ultimately sold you on Scholarships 360 as an option for this?
I think, once again, reducing the workload for us, just the visibility, the brand awareness of who Scholarships 360 is. I think the biggest thing is, I think I told you on our, chat, it's really like the fact that you as a CEO is there, and it's that trust and that transparency and just kind of putting eyes on you, knowing that it is something that's legitimate. Because again, that is something that our scholars talk about is their fear of, I don't know if you're real. So, having all that together was a big plus.
Going off of that, could you
Mhm.
just like talk a little bit about like what the sort of implementation experience was like?
Mhm.
Wasn't sure if there's any specific surprises or challenges
No, so
that you found.
yeah, I think what was good about what I liked about it the most was there were specific data points that's on our application in order for you guys to replicate, and then what would work and what wouldn't. We had our own autonomy of certain things that we wanted to be able to include. So, for instance, on our paper application, we do ask for some of the parent signatures, and that's because some of the kids are underage. So, we try to make sure that we're not like breaking any laws or anything like that. However, in regards to Scholarships 360, it wasn't a thing that was necessary in order for us to use. So I think having specific data points that matched our application, but just kind of saying, we had our own autonomy as to what was important for us, and it still worked.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know you just mentioned just Zach's help through the process. Just yeah, curious how that sort of you've just how you felt supported during that onboarding process. I know that's always that's usually the biggest like upfront, just like time and sometimes a little bit of
Yeah.
stress. So curious about that.
It was really helpful. I mean, I think as an organization in general, anytime you're thinking of when you're working or collaborating with someone, how responsive someone is going to be. And like I say, I think Zach was so good at if I had a question, if he had a question for me, or, I have Scholarships 360 on my own website. And so I think that responsiveness and just knowing how timely something is, with that to me was like really important. And I so appreciate it.
Great. I guess moving on to just the the impact results of the working together. just kind of curious, like as you reflected on specific results since using Scholarships 360, just as far as the applicant quality,
Mhm.
diversity of applicants, administrative workload, just whether you could speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, so the administrative workload definitely was a big help because once I received, I think it was like an Excel file. So once we received that file, now we can automatically save it. We don't have to have a physical place for us to keep the applications. Um, it's interesting. I'll say the quality of the applicants was about the same, but it's interesting. The scholar that we chose from Scholarships 360, we do so she was from Girard College, and we do an annual MLK event in January at Girard College. So it's interesting that if we weren't on Scholarships 360, she didn't know that we were what was there. So that's the whole
Yeah.
point, is like bridging that whole, someone can be directly in the room and have a need for something, but it was just so important that we were able to have that visibility on Scholarships 360.
Do you have any, I guess, advice for other, like, foundations, scholarship providers that might be in a similar, situation to you? And if so,
Yeah.
like what kind of advice would you give them
Yeah.
if you think about
I
running the program?
I would definitely say just being open. Like, I think even though there are certain values that are important to us, as I mentioned to Zach, like we had specific data points that we wanted to keep, it's really just being open. There are other, I'm getting ready to join another foundation scholarship committee, and they want their applicants to fill out their specific documentation. And so if you're just kind of staying in that antiquated place, you may not be able to receive the applicants that are just online. So I would just say, like, be open if your actual end goal is to receive the kind of applicants that you're looking for, and just kind of, again, meeting these scholars where they are.
Two more questions. One, just like I don't know if you're able to sort of rate your experience with like working with our team using Scholarships 360 overall.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. I haven't had any, and that's what you want, right? Like, you don't want issues. You don't want surprises later. You want to know that your website link is working. You want to know that you're valid and you're credible. Like, all the things that you look for when it comes to Scholarships 360. And I think even just the whole, there are other scholarship providers out there that it's just about the money or the placement, and you're like, once again, even on our side, we're nonprofit and we're trying to give money to others, but we don't want to have the concern of, now we have another invoice to pay you just to be
Mhm.
seen. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean that's music to our ears. Just we want to help you. Just we want use all that extra money to help students, and
yeah.
we want to help connect the kids on our platform to the right opportunities.